Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick, I'm trying to keep this just a couple minutes video about the last part of your budget project so that you would know what to do. I figured this would be easier than me trying to type all of the directions. And so on Google Classroom, you have this video that you're watching. You also have a link to this budget spreadsheet, and you have a link to this reflections document as well. And so you are going to complete both of these. I would do the budget first because the reflections are going to ask you a couple of questions that will be easier to answer, I think, when you see this. And so what you're going to do, you're going to change your name here where it says type your name here. You're going to type in your monthly income after taxes. Okay, so that's what we're basing everything on, that you found at the beginning. You're going to type that in here. And then you're going to, I'm jumping ahead. And then you're going to put in all of your expenses. Some of them are optional. Like I put tithe on here, even though we talked about how that's optional because I wanted it to be there for you. And I put savings on here, even though technically that was an extra that you didn't have to choose. And so some of them you might leave blank, which is fine. But the rest of these you should have: housing, car, this is insurance and maintenance, that whole car cost together, groceries. But then these utilities I split up. So power and electric, you found that. You found a cell phone. You found the water and sewer, so put those together. And then you found internet. Oops, I have cell phone on here twice. Let me delete that right now before I forget. Okay, so those are separate. So you should have those on that part about utilities, but here you're going to separate them and fill them in so you can see them individually. And then there's a spot for 5 extras. You had to choose 4. Now, if you chose tithe and savings, then you're only going to have 2 more here, and that's fine. So what I want you to do is delete where it says extra and type over it. So like replace it with money for the movies, money to eat out, student loans, money for new furniture, whatever you picked, okay? And then you can delete the rows that you don't use. So I just don't want it to keep saying extra, extra. So replace the ones you need with whatever you chose and then delete the extra ones. I have pre-done some formulas here because I frankly didn't know if you knew how to do that. And so I put that in. Right now it just says value exclamation point because it's upset because I have words up here. And these 2 formulas are based on this. And so I have created a row for money remaining after you've put in everything that you've already budgeted for. Some of you are going to have money left and some of you aren't. And so I wanted you to see what that amount is. And so this will calculate that for you. So it will take your income, subtract all of these, figure out what's left. The total should be exactly the same as your monthly income because I set up the formula for the total to be all of those things added together. So it'll have all the things you found plus then the additional money remaining. So this should be where it says total, it should be the same as your monthly income. Do not type in these or else it'll mess up the formula. And then you'll have to go back and start again with a new document that you haven't changed. So those are preloaded. You will see them change. Okay, as you type your values in here, you will see this change. And so that's what you're going to do here. Now, there's a lot of blank space over here. And so you're going to make a graph, a pie chart, of all of these. And you may not know how to do that. So I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. But you're going to put it in this blank space right here. Okay. So you're going to go, this is a made up spreadsheet. I just needed data. So I just listed your names in no order. Okay. And no specific order. And then I just picked random numbers. These mean nothing. Okay. This is not any like how much I like you or anything. And this is just numbers I typed in at random. So you're going to do this. You're on your budget sheet. You're going to highlight, oops, this mouse is being weird. You're going to highlight both columns, the names and the amounts. This is so easy. You're going to go to insert chart. It's going to make you a chart. It may default to a bar graph. We don't want that. So over here on the editor, you're going to go to click on chart type and scroll down. There are 3 options for a pie chart. You can do this regular, this kind of like donut one, and then this 3D one. So you're just going to pick one and it makes it for you. And it even gives you the percents. Okay. If yours doesn't have like the name, if it just has the percent, you want to go down here and click on use column A as labels so that it knows that. You may have to remake the graph if that's not checked. I'm not sure if it'll make you remake it or if it'll add it in there or not. When I delete it, doesn't change anything. So I'm not sure what happens if you don't have that checked originally. But I want this to be percents. I want you to be able to see, oh, wow, I'm giving 30% of my budget to eating out. Like, that's crazy. Or maybe you think that's great. I don't know. And so I want you to be able to see those percentages, and be able to look at those and kind of process what you're spending your money on. I think it's important as an adult. I do think it's important to know, wow, like I'm spending 40% of my budget on groceries. Like maybe I need to change what I'm buying. Maybe I don't need to buy name brand everything, or maybe this is just what works for our family right now. And to see, wow, I'm only saving 2%. Like that's not a lot. And so I need to change that. And so I do think seeing those percentages of how you're spending your money can kind of put certain things into perspective. Like when it's a dollar amount, we don't really think much of it, but seeing it as a percentage in comparison to other things, I think can really kind of help us kind of align things a little bit better if we feel like we're not devoting money where we should be. So I want you to have that. You're going to just put that in the open part of your graph. Hey, oops, that's not what I wanted. Feel free on this to change these colors. Make it fun. I want it to be your personality. So do that if you would like to. And I'm happy to. I'm happy for you to personalize it any way you want. The big thing is do not type in these boxes because those are going to calculate numbers for you. Please up here at the title, add your name. So like Mark, budget spreadsheet and graph or something, Seth, Bridget, budget spreadsheet and graph would be great. So like it's easier for me if I'm looking at it. I know your name is here, but it's sometimes just easier if I can see it everywhere. So please do that if you can. If you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to seeing your completed parts of this project. And you're gonna do a presentation. You're gonna make a presentation. So we'll talk about that later this week. But I hope you're doing great. Let me know if you have any questions.